Hey, hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome. All right. I hope y'all enjoyed that intro. It's about to be a good live. Today is the first time us going live on YouTube. So all you YouTubers, I appreciate y'all for joining as well, as well as my Facebook group. So welcome. But today we are going to talk finance with a friend of Nurse Jazz, Mr. Maurice Graves. I'm going to bring him on after I introduce him. But we're going to get into how we can win in 2022 and how we can use our finances to get ahead. Also, how to kind of like manage our stress around, money. I think money is the root of a lot of different illnesses, not directly, but definitely have a lot to do with it. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Mr. Graves on.
Nurse Jazz.
Hello.
What's going on?
Hi, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How about you? Can you hear me?
Can you turn up a little bit?
All right, hold on. Let me see. Is that better?
Much better.
Much better?
Okay. Yes.
All right.
How was your day? Everything's good? How's it going?
Everything is good. Everything is busy as usual.
Okay. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you having me. And let me say this. I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you, friend.
Very, very proud of you. Very
thank
proud
you.
Of you.
Thank
awesome.
you for, joining in on a vision. I appreciate you for that too.
Yeah, that intro was absolutely everything.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Uh-huh. So we brought you on the show because you are not, far as like education wise, not a financial, but you do know a lot about finances, saving, investing, and a lot of the Black community do not. Right. So we thought that it would be a good idea to have you on just to kind of, join together to figure out how we can help out with finances and also, limiting stress along with money. Yeah. So I did introduce you, but if you want to say a little bit about yourself before we get started.
You know what? That's one of the things I promise you. I absolutely hate to talk about myself. Oh my I hate to. Like what do I say? What do I say in terms of education, experience, travel? Like what you want me to say, Jazz?
Oh goodness.
I'm sorry, Nurse Jazz. What you want me to say?
Well, I guess we'll get into how much you know through the live. So we can just get started.
All right. I can tell you this.
Okay, tell me something. Tell us something.
I am one of 7 children.
Okay.
So we did not grow up with much. As a matter of fact, I grew up with not having much, and it actually sparked my desire to have more than what I grew up with. And so I became very, I guess, impassioned early about just ensuring that I have a good financial future.
And trying to be the example, right, of trying to leave a legacy.
Yep.
Right? Yep. Like, leaving wealth for great grandchildren.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. And I was reading something the other day and they were saying like how much it's not even a big difference as far as like the economic market from back in the civil rights movement. Like what?
Yeah.
Like, huh?
Yeah.
It is still a stark difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we are years from that and we still are not anywhere near the other folks.
It's a whole history lesson that can go behind that. But let me just say this. There was a point in the 1950s and 1960s when a lot of social programs began in order to help the what is called the upward mobility of Black people. Mm-hmm. And so we began to rely on the government for upward mobility.
Right.
Unfortunately, we relied too heavily, and then around 1980s is when they begin the process of letting us down. And so we're seeing those residual effects today.
And it's like a whole trap. Like
Mhm,
it's not a such thing as free money.
mhm,
It's
mhm,
not a such thing as free money. Like, I mean,
mhm.
a lot of even recently with the pandemic, all of the money that was being just, filtered in, and people getting this and people getting that, and like not knowing that they're going to be taxed for it, or getting really used to that extra cushion. And, it was a big trap. I just see a lot of people not doing well because they were really dependent on this money.
So that actually is a lot of what we'll probably wind up talking about tonight.
Right.
Those two words, supply and demand.
Hmm.
And the reality is, whenever there's a lot of supply, the demand goes down.
Right.
And so, if you take the US dollar, for example, and you give every household $1,400, the value of the US dollar goes down because everybody has one.
Right. Right.
But I mean, I'll explain it in detail. I'll wait until you
No,
to
go
both
keep
of your
going.
questions, and then
No,
I'll.
go
No, I
go.
mean, the reality is that um, the U.S. It used to be a time where you can be proud of yourself if you were to be like, I got $10,000 in the bank. Like they
Right.
would be like, oh my God, that's crazy. Like,
Right. Right.
but that's no longer the case
Right.
because the value of the U.S. dollar has lowered to a point where, it's depreciated. And
Hmm.
so, what is more recommended? What is recommended? And let me also say this as a way of disclaimer. I'm not a um, I'm not a certified financial officer.
Right.
I'm not a CPA. I'm
Right.
not any of those titles, any of those acronyms. And, it actually works out because I'm not tethered or tied to an industry or organization.
Right.
So, usually, when you have individuals, not all, but when you have individuals who are tied to organizations, they're pushing products. So, in actuality, people become the hustle.
Right. So
So,
that's even with. Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
Like that's even with banks, right? Like it's called free checking. They using your money, and then I just read that like they using 100% of your money. It used to be like 80, 90, but now it's like everything that you see on your account is digital money for them
Everything is
to
digital.
use to do their investments. So
Everything is digital.
I know we're gonna delve into that too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, let's have it. So, ask me the
All right,
question. I'll
so
tell you whatever you want to know.
what's a free checking account? What is
There-
that?
There's no such thing as a free checking account. That's just like saying a free email account.
Right,
There's no such thing. You will
right,
be bombarded with ads, and your email address will be sold to the highest bidder. Pretty much. There's no such thing as a free checking account. There is a free entrance into the banking system,
right,
but there is something expected of you out of it.
right. So what should how should people use their checking account? Should they put all of their money in the checking account?
No, you should never put all of your money anywhere. Always diversification is the key. If you're saving and investing, diversification is the key. Whenever you invest, and there's a fundamental difference between saving and investing. Saving is holding and hoarding,
Right,
and you're probably, you know, letting a lending institution do that. Save. A lot of people
right,
put their money in the bank to save. But I can tell you right about now, Wells Fargo, for an example, gives you about 1.01% as an annual percentage rate off of your money. That's absolutely nothing.
nothing.
You do a better job of saving your money than the actual bank.
Right,
So the first thing I would say is with money in general, you ready? This is what it is when it comes to money. Everybody has a California.
everybody has a
And
California.
everybody has a California.
Okay,
So
expand.
take for example, we have a road trip, and it's to California.
Hmm.
That's the destination. Everybody has a destination for your money. For
Okay.
some, it's retirement. For some, it's the purchase of a home. For
Right.
some, it's the purchase of a car.
Right.
Everybody has a California in regards to their money. If you don't have a California, then you are already behind the eight ball.
Right.
You have to give your money a destination.
Right.
That's number two. The second decision you got to make is how are you going to get to California? Are you going to take the train? Are you going to take the bus? Are you going to take the plane? Are you going to ride a bike? Or are you going to walk?
Right.
You have to use a very short vehicle that will get you to your retirement. So some people choose the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
Some people choose the bank. That's the train that'll get
That's
you there
great.
slower. Some
Mm-hmm.
people use other means, real estate, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So in terms of money, you have to have a California.
So what's the plane?
What's the plan? So for me, oh, here's the thing. Um, so some people might be like, yeah, the plane is real estate. However, you got to remember there are different airlines,
Right.
and
That's
some planes
good.
will stop
That's
off in
good.
other cities first. You know what I mean? Before they get to their final destination. My point is, you literally have to find out what works better for you and your family and your situation.
Right.
For me, Maurice Graves, real estate was the key.
Okay.
Real estate was the key. I went in 2008. No, actually before that, 2006, and I became no, actually, I bought my first property in 2001. I've been buying properties ever since.
Mm-hmm.
So 20 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, 2006, I became a licensed real estate agent.
Mm-hmm.
I would take people around and I would show them houses. This one lady named Felicia, I will never forget her. Never
Clearly.
ever. I will never forget Felicia.
Uh-huh. What's up with
I,
Felicia?
I don't hit women, but I might push her off a bike. But that's a great sight. So I rode her around for like 6 months. 6 months. I rode her around, showing her different properties.
Uh-huh.
And she says to me, and you gotta remember, we're not attorneys. Real estate agents are not like attorneys.
Uh-huh.
Like we don't get paid per hour or anything like
Right,
that.
right, right.
It's my gas, my time. Um, so I took her around and I was showing her different properties. Then after 6 months, you know, she said, Maurice, I think I'm going to wait. I think I'm going to wait till my kids graduate from school, and so
Uh,
I was a little, but it showed me something. It showed me that I could devote time, energy, money towards something. I needed to get smarter about it.
right.
I
Right.
needed to not work harder. I needed to work
Work
smarter. So
smarter.
that's when I began to go on from the sell side to the investing side.
And I just wanted to expand a little bit on that working hard and not and working smart and not hard. So a lot of people would equate that to physical,
Right.
right? I don't want to. I don't work it hard. Like I'm gonna work
Right.
smart. Like I'm.
Mhm.
But the thing is, you can still physically work hard. You can be a laborer or a truck driver or construction worker and still not work hard. If that makes sense. Like those are physical jobs, but those are not necessarily like these construction workers probably have a whole season when they don't work. That's working smart to me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I find in my line of work that people will miss doctor's appointments, people will miss surgeries, people will like ignore symptoms because they're working and they're working and they're working and they're working, and these people come up with stage 4 cancer
Yeah.
because they worked hard and not smart. Like they just forget everything that has to do why they are doing it. Like it is such a trap, and I just tell people all the time, like, but what happens when you're not here? Like you have to
I
be here
cannot
in order to like enjoy the fruit.
I
So
cannot tell you how many people that I've seen walk off the job, retirement, and die within three
that's it.
years. die. Like, can't enjoy your pension, can't enjoy any investments that you made. It don't even matter where you invested your money or saved it, because you're not even going to enjoy it. The reality is that you have to make the decision that is best for you.
Right.
Your house is your team. You guys are a unit, and
Right.
you have to make the best decision for the team. I'm sitting up
Right.
here watching the Sixers game before we got on. I mean, they're talking trade because they're trading some players because they
Right.
have to do what's best for the team, because their
Exactly.
California is the NBA championship.
Right. 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 We have a question.
All
I
right,
plan
go
for someone who I plan for someone who works for herself and saves money. How can I get smarter with my savings?
All right. So I feel that it's not how much a person makes, it's how much they're willing to sacrifice in terms of saving. So,
Right.
for example, I'll give you a real small story, like real small. I was going to Sam's Club one day. This was probably 15 years ago. I walked in, I seen a guy returning a 5 gallon drum of water, the container.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, sir, I'll buy that container off you. I said, matter of fact, I'll buy both of them off you.
Mm-hmm.
He laughed. He said, are you serious? I said, yeah. I gave him $5 a piece for, from those containers, for those containers.
Mm-hmm.
Took those containers home and began to throw change in those containers. I cashed them in. It was like $600. And that's effortless saving. I'm saying all
Right.
that to say, people often say, I don't have the money to save. I
Right.
don't have enough to save. I don't make
Right.
enough to save.
Right.
The reality is, these are the same individual with Netflix, Amazon Prime, memberships at
Right.
Planet Fitness. You
Right.
know, it's to the degree to which you are willing to sacrifice is the degree to which you're willing or will be able to save.
Right. And also being smart with your money. I mean, more smart with your time, right? Like you
Hmm.
don't want to, like how you were just saying, as far as the young lady driving her around for 6 months. Like that
Yeah,
could have been a 6 month salary,
yeah,
but yet you just wasted time with Felicia and
yeah,
her bike
yeah.
because
But
she wanted to wait for, I don't know, the Felicia ain't handle kids. Felicia wanted to make sure she had time. I mean, wanted to save for her kids or wait for her kids or whatever. So you have to be smart. Just to answer your question, kind of expand on that too. You have to be smart with your time too. So I'm realizing being in this,
mhm,
um, space of becoming my own boss and my entrepreneurship and stuff,
mhm,
I have to set days because you will
mhm,
get lost
mhm,
in your visions
mhm,
because you're a creative person, so you're
mhm,
going to keep with your visions and this and that, and it's just like you have to kind of like streamline what you're doing because it'll be, you think of it from like a wage standpoint. If you just not wasted, if you just spent 10 hours on something that you're going to make maybe $100 on, like you don't, that's not even minimum wage, so just being smart as far as that too.
Not only being smart toward, regarding your time, being smart regarding your circle, your
Hmm.
social circle, because your circle determines your circumstance. And another quick story, I didn't realize how ignorant I was regarding money until I got around people who had money.
Mm,
I
that's
never knew.
that's
I
good.
never
It puts you in
knew
perspective, put a lot of
that.
things in perspective.
You ready? You ready for this?
What's that?
My nephew is an actor out in California
Hmm.
in movies and all of that. Earlier on, he became a godson, sort of, if you will, of a billionaire. So I'm in Philly. I'm buying Gucci belts and Gucci sneakers and all that. I fly to California. I go sit at a billionaire's table. I'm at his house. We chilling. We busting it up. I got on Gucci. He got on Hanes t-shirts and Wrangler jeans.
So keeping up with the Joneses is driving these broke down
Yeah,
pickup trucks. Like the
yeah,
Joneses don't care about that stuff. That's a trap too. because
Yeah.
they don't even sell certain ads are not even in certain parts of the country
Right.
because they know that those people don't care.
Yeah.
But they know if they sell it to us because of the deplete, that we're deprived, that they feel like there's like we're doing something if we buy Gucci or we buy these Jordans or we buy. So that's like a whole trap too.
We're buying, but so he's rich, like rich, rich, rich. So I believe in verify but check, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything I'm telling you, what your audience don't know is, and you can tell, I've showed you, I
Mm-hmm.
showed you photos, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I'm saying that to say that I will show, and I have shown you one of my banking accounts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've done that because it's important who you have on here talking to your people.
Right.
Because a lot of people will sit up here and tell you what they have, what
Right.
they got.
Right.
Like
And
this
not
ain't the time to cap nobody up. You
right.
know what I mean? No, you know what I mean? Like this is not the time because there are just so many ways in which people can be relieved of their situation, their stress, that they have regarding their
Mm-hmm.
jobs or whatever. There's so many ways that can be alleviated if they just pay attention.
Right.
We don't have to have a GoFundMe account when you pass away.
Right.
We don't have to have, and I'm not diminishing anyone's death or anyone who has passed or anything like that. But there are ways that you can avoid hardships that
Right.
causes stress for you and family members.
Right.
And that's really what I'm about. That's really
Yeah.
what I'm about. I'm about helping people find those ways in which they could alleviate the hard way of doing things.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So you
hear
ready?
I hear business coming on. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So
I'm
you
just saying.
ready?
What's up?
The first thing you want to do, the very first thing you want to do is you want to look around your local resources.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, people owe you money. You ready?
In what way?
All right.
Uh-huh.
You live in the city of Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
The city of Philadelphia is known for three things: beds, meds, and eds.
Okay.
Beds, hotels, hospitality; meds, hospitals;
Mm-hmm.
and eds, education,
Mm-hmm.
colleges and universities. We have them up the wazoo. People
Mm-hmm.
come from all over the world to come here for them.
True.
They don't pay taxes. Because they don't pay taxes, they make agreements with the city. For an example, the University of Pennsylvania has an endowment. You can tell the strength of a university by the size, not of its enrollment, but of its endowment. Do you
Mm-hmm.
know how much its endowment is, University of Pennsylvania? Take a guess. $30.5 billion.
Oh, I wouldn't have never guessed that.
30.5 billion. That's the endowment of the University of Pennsylvania. They don't pay taxes. So what they do is they, in lieu of paying
Billion,
tax,
you said?
B, B, 30 point billion. Like my friend is a billionaire.
That is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. They don't pay taxes. So what they do in lieu of paying taxes to the city, they offer free programs.
Um,
So one program is called Building Bridges to Wealth.
building bridges to wealth, y'all.
Buildingbridges.org. That's the website. It's the
Okay.
number two, not the word.
Okay.
Building Bridges, the number two, Building Bridges to Wealth.org. The
Okay.
number two, not the word. Is free investor classes
Mm.
taught by the top um, four thinkers of money economics in the world. So I
Okay.
was taught by a professor by the name of Keith Whitegall, who's one of the foremost economists in the world. I'm
Okay.
saying all this to say, and I got certificates, that it's important that your people know who's on here talking to them. I
Thank
did
you,
the work.
whoever put that in the chat. Thank you.
Yeah. Keith Whitegall and his assistant Stacy Franks, Building Bridges to Wealth. Enroll in one of those programs. I waited at this man's feet for like a year.
Okay.
So he taught me what to invest, how to invest, and I would go in his office after class. Like I got more questions, and I would just sit there. I would eat my lunch, and I would just listen to him.
Absorb.
You know what he told me?
What do you say?
He told me, he said, why do you buy Clorox bleach? Chlorine is chlorine.
I agree. I agree.
He said,
I
why you buy
completely agree.
Clorox?
Yeah.
What's wrong with the store brand?
Right.
And he would just give me practical steps that I
Mm-hmm.
can conserve some of my paycheck.
Right. Right. And it's the small things. Just getting a little bit. I mean, so you said the resources,
Uh-huh.
investing.
Yeah. So there's a fundamental difference before I started to say between saving and investing. Saving is
Mm-hmm.
kind of hoarding your money. Investing is putting your money to work for you,
Mm-hmm.
putting your money on assignment. That's what
Mm-hmm.
investing is. And even in either one, saving or investing, you always want to diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. You want
So
to
for
look all over.
so for somebody who this is brand new to them,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to start off, because one of my good friends told me to start putting $25 away with
Mm-hmm.
each paycheck,
Mm-hmm.
and that was some years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So any other tips like how to start? Because it's a skill. It's something that you have to get
Mm-hmm.
used to doing. And if it's any tips.
Yeah. So you can't really tell people what to invest in
Mm-hmm.
because that can kind of people get upset when they lose money because all investing is a risk.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you this, what I do. Round about April or May,
Mm-hmm.
I start looking at stocks for Home Depot and Lowe's.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because I know hurricane season is coming up in September, and I know when people start to board up their homes, and it may
That's
not happen here, but in the tropical areas, people
right.
buy up supplies,
Right.
so stock shoots up.
Right.
That's just a tip.
So stocks, part of the investment.
Absolutely, real estate,
Um,
real estate.
Real estate.
Yeah, because all right, let me tell you. So one of the words you want to get familiar with is translate. Translate is I only got one on me. Translate is to take your US dollar
Mm-hmm.
and to put it in another put it in another vehicle. Put it in a vehicle and put it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Take it out of the US dollar currency and put
Yes.
it somewhere else. It could
Like
be
bitcoins and stuff.
cryptocurrency. It could be cryptocurrency. Not everybody is knowledgeable about cryptocurrency. You
Mm-hmm.
really got to do your research
Mm-hmm.
and even know what it is. But I would say start off with just buying items that are appreciating
Mm-hmm.
instead of depreciating.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So somebody in the chat, they said, I don't know people who has lots of money. I like to have money. So I see what you're saying. I will have money and throw money and save money. How can I keep my money flowing?
How can you keep it flowing in terms of like what do they mean?
I don't know exactly where part they were talking about, but what if I can expand a
Yeah,
little bit.
go ahead.
What I would say is that you need to audit your money the way that banks audit your money, right? Like you need
Mm-hmm.
to know where your money is going. They said grow.
Mm-hmm.
I do cash add stock growing. You need to know where your money is going. So I have a lot of different banking accounts
Mm-hmm.
for different things,
Mm-hmm.
right? I know I like to travel. I know I
Mm-hmm.
like to do Christmas and my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty, and and then I don't want it the same as my primary check-in. I don't want my business account to be connected to my primary check. So in that way, that's how I separate my money. So I feel like if you know where your money is going, then you will not just blow your money, If that's what you're asking, because it's on here, it doesn't show exactly who's asking it. So you need to know exactly where your money is going. So I know people that eat out all the time. I don't have that bill. I don't have that bill to eat out. Mm-hmm. It's not healthy for you. It costs more money. Mm-hmm. You don't know what's in it, mm-hmm. So that's my take on, cooking at home. And then it's just a lot cheaper, really. And then as far as even like coffee, like I'm part of a coffee club at work now, because even coffee can add up, especially y'all Starbucks drinkers. That's $6 a cup every day. Yeah. You know what I mean? Probably more. I don't even drink Starbucks coffee. So not to say that you can't have it or, but if you're trying to get to the next level, if you're trying to have whatever your destination, whatever your California is, then you're going to have to make some sacrifices. And a sacrifice for me was, one of them was really like shopping, so now I'm finding that I'm telling people when I buy stuff, because I need you to hold me accountable. Like, I need you to know what I am buying, because I don't want to just be out here just buying anything, so if that answered your question, I'm not sure.
Treat your money like your dude or any dude. What good is he sitting on the couch if he's not helping out? Would you allow somebody to sit on your couch, eat cereal, and play the Xbox all day?
That's so good. I like that metaphor.
You got to put it to work. It got to benefit you. Mm-hmm. And look, everybody got it. And it's education too. I'm going to show you something. Are you ready? You promise not to judge me.
Oh God, you on here with people. It's not just me.
They need to know this. You promise not to judge me.
Oh my gosh. You promise not to who?
You promise not to judge me.
Oh, I promise.
All right. So I teach my kids stuff. On his headphones, he can't hear me. But
he's still up.
He wanted to, yeah. Son, come here for a second. Come here. Hurry up, real quick. Take off your headphones. It's Nurse Jazz, real quick. Say hi, real quick. Say hi.
Hey, MJ.
All right, real quick. All right, watch this. Son, what's rent?
Rent is something that
talk to the camera.
Rent is something that somebody pays you to live in.
How many houses do you own? Not me. How many houses do you own?
2.
When is your rent due?
I love it.
The first of every month.
I love it.
Okay, when is it late?
After 5 days.
Okay, go ahead.
I love it.
Don't judge.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
First child appearance on Nurse. Yeah. I think I put It's for Children on YouTube. But no, that's so good. So again, going back to generational wealth, right? Going back to generational wealth. Like we can't just do it we're not just doing it for ourselves. And like even for far as Garner Your Health, my business, we can't think of being healthy just for ourselves. It is for our children's children. So
so I get so passionate because I don't think people realize that they're this close to being free.
Right.
That's like they're this close. I don't care if you make minimum wage. Like we all ain't millionaires in here. Like we made a decision to cut some things out of our budget, or to forego. I don't know. Some people get their hair done every week. They just to forego some things, in order to save up. And here's the thing: it's the snowball effect. You knock out the smallest one first.
That's it. Knock out the smallest one first.
Yeah, knock out the smallest one first. It may be a $500 credit card bill. Knock that out. Take that momentum, put it on the next big one. Take that momentum. Like you can.
And then you mature in that, right? I started off with 25.
Yeah.
I'm save much more than that now. Because you just mature in that. You become more comfortable in it. you appreciate what you see in the bank account, right? You see how much cushion you have, how much you can afford, how much you don't need. Like I did my own hair, well, the help of my friend, but I did my own
Mhm.
hair, because this is the season that my destination is a house,
Mhm.
so I need to cut some costs in order to get to that. So, it's important. So somebody asked, for those who are just starting out, what are affordable companies you suggest to invest in?
So I use Fidelity. I use Fidelity not because of the firm. I use Fidelity because of the person who invests my money.
Okay.
I have a relationship with the person who invests my money. He knows me. He knows what I like. And so he puts my money where I tell him to put it. I
Right.
can tell you right now, hint, 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 hint. There are big companies who are buying up little companies. One is Google. Another is, I believe, that Frontier's buying Spirit. And let me see what else. I looked at not too long ago. Something with one of the pharmaceutical companies. I believe it's Pfizer. Is buying up something. So
Uh-huh.
you just want to do your research and you want to see who's getting bigger because the bigger they get, the more value they add to their portfolio.
So
And
Fidelity is a good one.
Fidelity is the venue that I use. I
Okay.
also use for I have a 529 for him, which is a tuition assistance program. So
Say
that by
that
the
again.
529 TAP,
Okay.
which stands for Tuition Assistance Program.
Okay.
That's through Charles Schwab. So it's not necessarily um, the venue. You want to look for the venue that will charge you the least for what you want done with your money.
So do you put a certain amount in like every pay or
Yeah. So that term is called dollar averaging. Dollar averaging is when you say every Friday I'm gonna put in $50.
okay.
Or every Friday I'm gonna put in
Into this
$100
investment company.
into this investment. It's called
Okay.
dollar averaging. That means you have a set amount at a set time that comes out of your account into your brokerage account.
Okay.
Into your account.
Okay. All right. What about
Mhm.
credit scores?
Credit scores is everything. Credit score. So here's the thing. Um, a lot of people, will stress themselves about credit scores, and it is important. But what banks like to see is a consistent paying of your bills. They want to see consistency.
Mm-hmm.
So you ain't necessarily got to have great credit, but you got to have consistent credit.
Right.
They want to see you consistently paying your bills.
Right.
And if you're doing that by nature of the way that the scores work, they'll go up
Mm-hmm.
because it's based upon consistency.
Right.
And then they have the 7 year fall off. So anything that's on there after 7 years, charge off, bankruptcies, they
Right.
fall off after a certain amount of time. And let me also say this for anybody that has anything in collections, I don't care if it's a hospital bill, I don't care if it's some type of personal loan, do not think that you owe the whole thing. Do not. If it's $1,500 and you got $300 that day, call them up and say, listen, I got $350 right now to pay
Yeah.
this off. 9 times out of 10, they will take it because to them, something is better than
Better
nothing.
than nothing. That's
If they've
good.
been chasing you for 4 years and you
Right.
call them up and you say, listen, I got $350. Will you guys be willing to settle the account and
Mm-hmm.
send me a document stating that this account has been satisfied? That's important
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people will be like, oh, no, I paid it off. I paid it off. No, you need a
Right.
record that it's been satisfied because you never know who you need to show that to when you're going to buy a house and something like that. I'll tell you one more
Right.
other
Right.
thing when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
credit. If you have a middle initial, use it.
You throw them
If
off.
you have, so there are 1, 2, 3. There are 3 Maurice Graves in my family.
Uh-huh.
I don't have a middle initial, but they do. That
Oh, I see what you're
distinguishes
saying.
them from me. I
Okay.
promise you, without fail. Every single time I go to buy property, the title company is asking me, "Did you own something on Bridge Street? Like, did you?" No, but
Uh,
my cousin did.
yeah, 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 yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he
Okay.
still owe them money.
Yeah, yeah.
So distinguish yourself from anybody else, whether it's junior, senior,
Yeah.
use something that will distinguish you when it comes to credit.
What
Go ahead.
about if you share a line of credit?
So shared a line of credit is like trusting someone else's ability to pay,
Okay.
ability and consistency to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are a lot of people who have the ability to pay, but they're not
Right. Are they
consistent with it.
consistent? Yeah.
Another thing is this credit, Nurse Jazz, we so much I can, like it's a lot.
We appreciate
Wait,
your time.
now listen, what I'm saying is when it comes to credit cards and being what is called a authorized user, being an authorized user, you got to
Mm-hmm.
watch that
Mm-hmm.
because it's only as good as the person in paying their bills and being consistent, with paying their bills. You
Now
got to
that
watch that.
so will that so say if their credit limit if they go over the credit limit of 30%, that will show on your credit score too?
You will always come up as an authorized user.
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't. I'm trying not to put somebody out there. I was an authorized user on my mom's Macy card. I
Uh,
was. I
uh-huh.
got out there as fast as I could
Uh-huh.
because I was trying to do some
Mine like the
things.
shop.
Yeah. So I mean, she liked to shop, but mom also is one of those persons that pays the minimum balance.
So that's what I was going to expand on to y'all.
Don't do
Try
that.
not to, even if it's $5 over, because you
Don't
will
do
not.
that.
It will take, and try to be 30% under the
Yeah.
credit limit overall, right? Like your overall credit.
You want to
So
you
you
want you
got
want to
three.
stay you want to stay they usually do like fractions. So you want to stay underneath like 33%.
Okay.
Um you want to stay up under there. But yeah, you got to watch being an authorized user. You never ever want to pay the minimum balance because what that does that strings you along. And then what
Right.
they do to keep you
Yes.
enslaved, they'll just raise
That's so
the
good. I'm glad
amount
you
of
used that.
credit that they're willing to lend
I'm
you.
so glad you used that word because that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. So somebody said, what about trade lines?
Trade lines, like in terms of what blockchain? What would they mean by trade lines?
What do y'all mean by trade lines? And then somebody said, what if you paid off the credit card? So you
Mhm.
always want to have, you want to, I don't know, sorry. You want to have something in there so they won't close your credit card. Right?
You can keep a zero balance. You can keep a zero balance.
Okay.
Yeah, you can keep a zero balance. You just don't want to you don't want to close it out
Right.
um because the term that the banks use when they look at you, me, and everybody else is loan ability.
Okay.
Loan ability.
Mm-hmm.
And that word ability, like Blity, it stands. It also goes with credibility. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people forget that credit is short for credibility.
Mm-hmm.
Loan ability, they want to see how loanable you are, how much of a risk, basically,
Mm-hmm.
you would be to the institution.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I have this like care, it's a care credit, it's a care credit card, right?
Hmm.
That I don't use, but
Hmm.
I use it every time we go to the dentist. Because
Yeah.
I know that'll be one time that I use it, that it won't close. So even if you keep a zero, because most of the time I do keep a zero balance, but if I use this care credit card every time I go to dentist, which is twice a year for me and my kid, I know it won't close. You know what I mean? So just having it like that too. Is that good for me? Credit, like helping boosting someone else's credit. So trade lines, credit like helping boosting someone else's credit?
Are they saying credit line or do they mean credit line?
I'm not sure.
I personally am not familiar with the term trade
Trade
lines. I know
line.
what, yeah, but credit
Okay.
lines I'm very familiar with.
Yeah, so the credit line, y'all, like he was saying, like it's to help boost somebody else's credit. Or you're the authorized user, right? And that will help you. But what he was saying is basically it's just as good as somebody how they use it and how they pay it off. So you want to be careful on who that person is because it can. I have a coworker that recently her credit score went down because her dad decided to use the credit card. And she's like, wait, what happened? I didn't buy a bed, and it was her dad that bought the bed. So you just want to be careful. And somebody else said, and when paying your bills, paying before it's due is more important than paying when it's due, if you can. Paying before it's due versus paying when it's due. Okay. Yeah, I agree, and that keeps you also ahead of the game. But sorry.
Yeah. No, it's different types because we're talking credit cards. So it's different types of credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
There's secured and there's
Mm-hmm.
unsecured.
Mm-hmm.
Does that everybody know the difference between the two?
Go ahead, expand.
Okay, sure. Secured. So,
Oh, this is. I mean, I hope y'all are getting something out of it. Our
yeah.
lives usually don't run this long, but I really pray that y'all getting something out of it. But go ahead, Mr. Greaves.
Unsecured. What it has to do with is loanability, a risk to the bank. Unsecured item is an item they can't come and get. So a ring, um, you know, even money, like that's unsecured.
Mm-hmm.
Secured lines are things they can come and get, like a car, like a house. Those are
Okay.
items they can come and repossess. A
Okay.
ring, they might have difficulty repossessing,
Mm-hmm.
which is why you generally pay a larger percentage of interest on unsecured versus secured.
Right. Okay. Got you. Mm-hmm. 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 Because they gotta get their money, and
Yeah,
they not going to get it if something happened to it. Got
there
you.
you go.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Gotcha. Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. May have been touched. Okay. What's the best way to consolidate debt?
Well, it depends on what kind of debt you're talking about. I would simply say that with any debt, you want to start off with the smallest balance first.
Right.
Consolidating debt really works in terms of like mortgages and student loans, the big boys. Any of the small ones, the line of credit, credit card, you want to tackle them with cash. And that
Yeah.
has a lot to do with human behavior.
Yeah.
That has
I
a
agree.
lot to do with you disciplining yourself to say no to some things, tackling the small one, and now addressing the next larger one.
Right. Right. I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Because then and it's practice, right? You
Mhm.
won't be so defeated or feel like discouraged if you're paying off something that costs $200 versus 2,000. But at least you'll have that like momentum, like you were saying before, like, okay, I just paid off this $200 credit card. So I can pay off this $500 one. And I can, so like you was, yeah, like that's good.
So I don't know if people know. I majored in psychology in college.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a such thing called industrial psychology. Industrial psychology is where a team of people come together and they try to figure out how to extract more money out of people's pockets. There are literal people sitting around all day trying to figure out how to get more money out of your pocket, how to
Yep.
get you to pay more, how to
Yep.
get you to spend
Yep.
more when you walk in
Yep.
certain stores.
Yep.
Like
I'm
that's
telling
what they
you.
do. Like that's how you. I
That,
don't want to project anxiety on you. I get anxiety. I think every day about how people are trying to get the little bit of money I work hard for. I do.
because you know how they think.
And some things you can't avoid. Like I'm letting your viewers know, you already know, Nurse Jazz.
Wow, wow.
Somebody stole my car Sunday. I gotta go buy a car. I didn't plan it, but they
Right.
stole my car.
Right.
So things happen, but
Yeah.
that's where like saving and putting money to the side will come and
Right.
help cushion. You wanna know why?
Right.
Because emergencies only happen to people who don't prepare.
Right. Exactly. So that's so good. That's so good. So, okay, it's another question. Sorry. I'm sorry if we're keeping you, let us know, Mr.
No,
Graves.
no, you good, good.
If you do have someone you do credit together with and it's paid off, do you benefit?
So that is not a hard question to answer, but generally most accounts are open in the name of an individual. Like I don't know too many accounts where there are several people on there. Even
Okay.
like, a leasing agreement, sometime we'll have like the main person. I'm a landlord. I'll have the main person and then somebody else up under it if the main
Right.
person isn't held responsible. So um I'm not familiar with that question because I
Mm-hmm.
only know accounts where one person is held accountable
Mm-hmm.
because only one person is the name. It's the name under which the account was open.
And also too, I was just thinking like student loans.
Mm.
So I would that was that
Oh,
answer
okay.
is
So
yes.
they're talking about plus. They're talking about a plus loan.
If I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there. If they are, like that will definitely benefit you if it's paid off for sure. I know a couple where they just got their loans forgiven, and that definitely helped both parties. Like, it helped his credit. Well, actually, we're still waiting because we. So then it gets weird too, right? So if you close an account, then your credit history is shortened, right? And that can
So
sometimes be a
no, go ahead.
that can
Go
sometimes be a I don't know, a hit to your credit as well. If you have a shorter credit history, sometimes they look at that too.
That's
But go ahead.
true. That's true. No, no, no. So in a case like that where you're talking about a student loan, you're talking about a cosigner. If they're talking about a cosigner, then yes, you're impacted by
Mm-hmm.
somebody else's actions because
Mm-hmm.
by virtue, I mean the Latin term, by virtue of the word cosign, it means to attest for.
Mm-hmm.
I attest for this person. I
Mm-hmm.
promise they will pay you back. If
Right.
they don't, then I will. That's the
Right.
whole
Yes, they've been
spirit
co-signing.
behind co-signing for somebody.
Okay. Good. Yep. 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 So, and to expand on that,
Uh-huh.
my student loans, I was young when I got them, so I was under
Mm-hmm.
my parents. So once I became of age and I consolidated them,
Mm-hmm.
it became my loan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then it was no longer a part of my parents' credit; it just became my credit.
Mm-hmm.
And that relieved them. I don't know what it did to their credit score because when you talk about it, but I'm
Right.
pretty sure it helped them out because they no longer had debt. Like it
Right.
was mine.
Right.
So yeah, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So any other questions, y'all? So what I to bring it home, if people decide to ask questions, to bring it home, investing is better than saving.
Investing yields more. What people sometimes investing is number two, saving is number one. So you
Mm-hmm.
might save up a certain amount, $500, and
Mm-hmm.
then you invest it.
Mm-hmm.
So saving is kind of hoarding and keeping. Investing is actually putting what you kept to work
Mm-hmm.
for you. And if you've done it correctly, it'll yield you more money.
Right. Right. And
Okay.
you know what? I'm telling you, and I thought I was doing a great job with my
Uh-huh.
money. And when I heard that most all of my money in the bank is being used for them to invest,
Mm-hmm.
I took that personal.
You
Like
should.
I was like,
You should.
oh, like
I
excuse me.
I do a better job with my money than the bank does. I know that for a
Right.
fact.
I'm like, oh my, like I knew it was a percentage, Maurice, but I did not know it was 100%. Like ever since the pandemic though, like it was 90 before the pandemic, but now just like, oh no, we need all of this money. And the thing is, if 12 people decide to take all of their money out of this particular bank, the bank is going to crumble because they don't have it. They're using your money to invest in getting people loans and different things like that, and the
Let
furniture
me
there, stuff like
let me
that.
tell you how deep. Let me tell you how deep it is. In 2001, the market crashed because of 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, the FDIC, which stands for the Federal Deposit Insurance Company, our money is insured. It's insured. If
Mm-hmm.
you say it's $67 in there and Wells Fargo agrees, they have to give you if the bank blows up, they gotta give you $67.
Uh-huh.
That's the insurance. Well, when 9/11 hit, the level of money they would insure FDIC was $100,000, right? That's what it was before. I'm sorry, before 9/11. After 9/11, people start pulling their money out of the bank. So
Mm-hmm.
what the government did was raise the amount of money they're willing to insure money so
Mm.
that people feel safe and
Safe.
comfortable with putting their money back in that institution.
Gotcha.
So it used to be 100,000, now it's
Mm-hmm.
at $250,000. When they made that announcement, people felt safe and secure and said,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, okay, I'll put it back."
Right, right,
And
right.
that's because they needed it to function, to
Right,
operate, to
right,
invest. They
right,
need your money. But unfortunately, you get hardly to nothing out of it,
right.
which is why I'm telling you to diversify. Give them some of your money.
Yeah,
But the other part, look around you.
yeah.
Look around you. Look at things that you can quite possibly invest in. Pay attention to the news and the stock market, and
Mm-hmm.
and ask people.
And
Ask
it's
people.
foreign, right? It's foreign. We still we keep trying to keep our head above water,
Yeah,
let
yeah,
alone trying to invest, right?
yeah,
But like even knowing these things, it's like
mm,
wake up a
mm,
little bit, people.
yeah,
Like just wake up a little bit because it's as much as people don't trust the government, like I don't know why they trust them with their money. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's parallel, people. Like it is the same way you feel about like a shot. Like you should feel that way about your money. So they're not going to just give you money just to give you money. So
yeah.
all right, I am so somebody they asked about Cash App investing, and then we're gonna close up.
So there are a lot of I was looking for my phone because I actually wanted to show you something. Um, there are a lot of different applications that you can use to invest money. Cash App is one of them in which you can buy cryptocurrency, you can buy bitcoins and a lot of other things. You still got to pay attention. You got to pay
Yeah.
attention because a lot of those particular applications are not necessarily regulated,
Okay.
and that's what you got to care about. I think it was maybe 2 years ago, Robinhood got busted because it was a largely unregulated application, but they were basically over promising on their returns.
Oh.
And a lot of people actually lost money. I
Mm,
use, I'm a consumer, I spend a lot, whether it's for me or my son or, for other stuff. And I use Acorns.
mm-hmm,
Acorns worked for me. I tell my friends to use Acorns,
mm-hmm.
and I kind of effortlessly invest money
Right.
um, through Acorns.
So you have told me about Acorns, and
Hmm.
Acorns has helped me
Tell
out a
everybody, tell them your testimony.
lot. So Acorns is an app, y'all. And if y'all decide to do it, y'all better tell me so I can get my points for it.
Yeah.
So Acorns is an app that you shop through. So you go to the app, you want to shop on Old Navy, you go into the Old Navy inside of the app, and then you get cash back for it. Or you go into eBay, or they have plenty of stores that you can invest in and get a cash back for what you already are going to buy. The other thing that does a cash back is it's called Fetch.
Hmm.
Fetch is an app that you take a picture of your receipts
Can they see
You can't
this?
see. You can't see. It's blurry. Oh, see? Oh, it's yes. I hope y'all see that. So that's all from him consuming. That's the money that's in there from him consuming. They also pull from your account often,
If
right?
you
Too,
set it
right?
up like that, so that's
Yeah,
just change that
right. From what you already spending.
what I'm already spending. Anytime I
So
want $2,000, I can just grab it from
right,
this account.
right. So that's Acorns, and then it's a fetch, and you take a picture
Yeah.
of your receipts that you already are buying, right? And this is from the actual physical store. So this is online stuff. Fetch is for physical stores, and you take a picture, and you get all of these rewards for like already shopping. The other thing is credit cards. So that's another thing, but certain credit cards give you cash back. Some people don't even use debit cards. They just use credit cards because whatever you swiping for, you get a cash back, you get, all of these incentives for it. So just little tidbits, but we got to pick your brain a little bit more, sir. I'm not going to hold you the rest of the night. Okay.
I love it. I love it. And I remember I used to work in King of Prussia. I'm sorry. I was going to Westchester. I was working in King of Prussia. There was a girl who drove a car. I didn't at the time. I had to catch the bus. And she was comfortable with watching me on the corner waiting for the bus and wouldn't give me a ride. And you know what I said? If I ever have a chance to help somebody, I will always help them. I will never withhold
That's biblical.
information.
That's biblical.
Yeah, like I will never
Yeah.
do that. Like I
It's
don't know. She used to
it's in
watch me like
Proverbs.
on the bus
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah. It's
Like,
it's in Proverbs. It's like, if you have,
yeah.
then is you
If
can't
it's
love
in
the
your power
money.
to do so. If it's
Right.
in
You
your
can't
power to yeah.
right. You can't love the money more than you love the people that you're going to help.
Yeah.
Right.
I will do this for the rest of my life. I will tell
I see
anybody
a
and
business coming on.
everybody what
I'm just
programs
saying.
to go to, get that free money. Them colleges and universities, they actually owe the city money, and because of that, they establish programs to help you and I. That's
And we
how I
gotta
learned how to
shorten this.
invest money.
We gotta shorten this gap. Like that bothered me too. Like the
Yeah.
same as the
Mm-hmm.
civil rights. Like
Yeah.
that means we ain't do. Never mind. That's a whole
Yeah.
nother story.
Yeah.
But
All
all
right.
right, y'all. One more.
One
Okay.
more. Talk to your parents right now about any real estate that they own. Talk to them, plead with them. My father is going to be 77. My mother's going to be 76. They've owned the same house since 1973. We need to have conversations about getting the house out of their name into one of our names. Because what actually happens is when they go into care, and it's the medical part, the state looks for
Take
ways
for it.
to be reimbursed for the
Yep.
care that they're
Yep.
providing.
Yep. Yep.
And I think it's called the 5-year look back or something like that. So
Yep. They take it.
you got one of the ways in which we consistently lose wealth in our community is real estate. We lose our properties. And I cannot tell you in my own family how many properties the city now own or some random bank or
Or it's
something.
flattened. Like
Only because somebody didn't have a conversation in pride. Like
right.
they can
Right.
stay right where they are, but they legally need to transfer it out of their name into somebody's name that they trust.
Right. Right. And then for us as parents, we need to then talk to our children, and we need to keep that same mindset too, because there's a lot of parents on here too. So
He already know.
I say, and it's late. He needs to go to bed. All right. So
go to bed. Yeah.
So thank you so much for your time, sir. This has been great. I appreciate you so much. So many nuggets, so many takeaways. I hope to have you again on the show.
First of all, you already know. All you gotta do is just ask.
Thank you.
You already know. I appreciate you, and
thank you.
You already know.
Thank you. All right, y'all. So this is a close to the financial special with Mr. Maurice Graves. Thank you so much. for joining us, and see us back next week on Nurse Jazz, and it may be another special guest. So you'll just look out for the group and the post on the group. And that is all. Y'all have a good night. See y'all.